that there could be a little bit of fetal alcohol syndrome because she did drink, snuck some alcohol in there when she was pregnant without my knowing. I found out years later. And she claimed that she was going to end up having to quit her job because she couldn't afford child support. And that, to me, that made no sense. I said, why would you quit your job?
So it's your takeaway though that she's intentionally working less. So the state is requesting several things, requesting the modified child support, uh, requesting the modified medical support. Testimony will be Mr. Kellogg has CHMPA, and it's costing him $39 a month to carry the child. So that's going to be the requested medical. As far as the child support, Ms. Atha will testify to employment beginning Q4 of 2023 through Q3 of 2024. The numbers fall off pretty significantly in Q3 of 2024, but the state's request is going to be to use the average of those four for the gross, and then to calculate child support accordingly. So I have an average for those four of $2,059.25. And the child support I calculate 356, and then the medical support would be the 39, and then also requesting the court to confirm arrears as of 12/31/24. That number $8,953.58. As the court probably already knows, the interest is just under 45, so the state's request for repayment would be 95. But Your Honor, the biggest issue, and that's why I'm not sure if this is going to be a temp or a final, I believe I'm sorry, two other smaller issues and then the big issue. So the request from Mr. Kellogg is for the court to order app close. I believe that they're already using it, but I think that Mr. Kellogg's request be to make that official. And then there's a request for non-disclosure as well. I'll let Mr. Kellogg tell the court about that. But then the biggest issue, Your Honor, Mr. Kellogg is going to testify to a number of issues with the child, and this may be a continuous support case, Your Honor. So I'd ask the court to hear the evidence and decide if it would be appropriate to do a temporary order and proceed on the continuous. The child is going to turn 15 in May, and so I'm worried that we might time out on this if we don't if we wait too long, and that's why I'm asking the court to hear the evidence and decide if it's appropriate to proceed on the continuous.
Was that pled for?
No, Your Honor, the state would have to refile.
Okay, I'm about to say I need pleadings on that. Okay, well, like I say, the child's 15. That's when you need to start doing these things and make sure they get done before the 18th birthday. So, but yeah, I've got no problem with you're probably looking at making this just a temp if that's what you want to do eventually on this one. But anyway, Miss CSO Atha has already been sworn in, and Mr. Kellogg, whole truth and nothing but the truth will help you.
Yes, sir.
All right, you're officially on oath. I'm gonna go ahead. You put your hand down, sir. I'm gonna go ahead and let the state call the witnesses. And at the end of your testimony from by questions asked by the state, if there's anything else you think I need to know that's pertinent or didn't come out, you can bring it out at that point. But it appears again, this is just going to be a temporary order because the state is requesting that the court needs to look at whether or not this child support should continue after the child's 18th birthday and plus graduation from high school or whatever secondary school he may be attending. And we'll see about setting that up eventually. But for right now, we'll go ahead and get what we can get done today. So at this time, Mr. Diamond, call your first witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. Call Miss Atha. Miss Atha, will you state your full name?
Brianna Atha.
And have you conducted a wage investigation in this matter?
Yes, I did.
Will you tell the court what you found?
So for Ms. Kellogg, I have wages going back to Q4 of 2023. So the gross monthly for each breakdown for quarterly, for Q4 of 2023, I have $2,707.33. For Q1 of 2024, I have $2,566.67. For Q2 of 2024, I have $2,231.67. And for Q3 of 2024, it drops down to $731.33, which is below minimum wage presumption. So those are the wages that I have for the last 4 quarters available.
Okay, and was there anything for Q4 of 2024?
Not yet.
Okay, I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Kellogg, do you have any questions of the CSO?
Questions or Or
No question, sir. Do you have anything to ask about what she testified to, sir?
oh, I don't think so. It's pretty clear.
Well, you're your own lawyer, so I have to give you the opportunity, but I think so. It's not normal. It's not, and most people don't, but I have to offer. So at this time, may the CSO may excuse Mr. Diamond.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you're free to go, and I'll let the state call your next witness, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Call Mr. Kellogg. Sir, will you state your full name, please?
Peter Matthew Kellogg.
All right, and let's talk about some things. So first of all, how old is your son right now?
Almost 15. He's 14. Be 15 in May.
Okay. What do you do for health coverage for your son?
I have. He was on Medicaid for a while. I think he might still be. They're supposed to be putting him off because the Champ VA took over. So right now he's on Champ VA officially.
Okay. And what do you pay a month to carry your son on Champ VA?
Champ VA itself isn't paid, but it only covers 80%. So I have to pay the supplemental on top of that, which is like 79 for the family or 78, I think it is.
Okay, so if it's 78 for the family, who all is covered under the supplemental?
Just my son and his stepmom, my wife currently.
Okay, so $39 would be your son's portion of it if we divide it in half. Okay. Let's talk about your child's mother, and then we'll talk about your son. Do you have reason to believe that she's playing games as far as her income goes?
I believe so. Yes, she's made plenty of comments. Some of them on app close, some on just private chats, or video chats with my son since then.
Okay, can you maybe tell the court maybe the two most relevant comments that she's made as far as her wages?
The most relevant was it started out with that I wanted her to like live under a bridge and not be able to eat food, and that she shouldn't be paying child support, over the $200 limit or 200 and something that she's claimed. And then she claimed that she was going to end up having to quit her job because she couldn't afford child support. And that, to me, that made no sense. I said, why would you quit your job, in order to pay more child support? That, it would be the opposite. You'd be looking for a job. So that was kind of out there about 2 years ago when she mentioned that.
Okay. So it's your takeaway though, that she's intentionally working less.
I would think so. Cause she's had, prior to that, she was bragging about having more work history supposedly than I've had in my entire life. Then all of a sudden she's, without a job. So it's kind of goes hand in hand with that comment.
Okay. So let's talk some more about her. You heard me tell the court in the opening that your request was that app close be ordered. Did I have that correct?
Yes, it was ordered originally, but she's barely followed that maybe 50% of the time. She's tried to get around that with text messages and video messages and harassment. I've had to ask her multiple times to, use only app close because of that reason for, keeping things on a provable fashion.
Okay. And then I take it you also have some concerns with her knowing your home address. Is that correct?
At first, I didn't think it would be a big issue, but my son has brought it up many times that he's worried and fearful that some of her friends and the ex-boyfriend that assaulted him in the first place, sexually assaulted him, that caused him to come here, may or may not, come by our address one day. So yeah, I think it would be safe to say that it could be an issue in the future.
Okay. Okay, so let's talk about your son.
Mhm.
What is his school situation right now?
He's in high school now. He just got through DAEP. He's been in trouble a lot. Well, he's been in trouble ever since I've had him back because of the issues from his raising by her, but it's gotten worse. Like it's gone up instead of down. I've had him in a couple mental institutions part-time. We had him in one 6 months that was also a school in Liberty Hill for almost 6 months. And he's not getting extremely terrifyingly worse, but he's definitely going upwards still. It's still an uphill battle.
And is there been a diagnosis for autism?
They said he was on the spectrum at Meridell Achievement Center where he was at last time. That was back in 2022, I believe, or end of 2022. They said he was on the spectrum. He wasn't full blown, able to be called like a traditional autistic student, where they have to be controlled constantly. But he is on the spectrum. He'll slash against himself, smack himself, pick at himself, do stuff like that when he gets frustrated.
Okay. And is there some concern that ongoing hospitalization is going to be required for him?
It's definitely, I mean, I'm going to try to put him into a military style school with the National Guard if it comes down to it when he's like 16 years old, but I don't know if that's going to be enough to help with the rest of it because I think a lot of it's more of a mental thing than just a behavioral, on purpose thing.
Okay, and so the doctors and other mental health professionals that you've worked with, have they given you any sort of prognosis as far as
Um,
what his life is
gave
going to look
me-
like?
yeah, his psychiatrist is a really nice guy from Baylor Scott and White. His name was I had it written down. I always forget it for some reason. They change him up occasionally. Dr. Butler. He's getting ready to switch out to back to his original one, Dr. Freeman. He says that from his professional opinion that even though the autistic uh, thing is like on the paperwork, he believes it's more of a sociopathic tendency that he's kind of headed towards because of the way he was treated, and stuff he went through. And he's telling me that it's going to be a really hard cognitive kind of a what do they call it? It's not a oppositional defiance, but there's one step above that, something to do with not cognitive, but it's like a behavioral. Well, it's more of a, as he put it, the type of behavior that'll put you in jail and cause you to really get into some bad situations in the future once they age and get more mature. So he's worried about that, as far as his future goes.
I understand. As far as like ongoing care that he might require when he gets older, is there some concern that there might be ongoing care?
I think so, especially for medications, because he doesn't know how to take his own medications, and he can't. He has ADHD diagnosis as well, so that kind of like gloms together and makes it worse. So he has a really hard time remembering stuff, and then add on that the rest of his mental stuff. It's definitely trauma based, and the Meridell did say that there could be a little bit of fetal alcohol syndrome because she did drink, snuck some alcohol in there when she was pregnant without my knowing. I found out years later. So
Okay.
yeah, he definitely. I don't think from the fetal alcohol side of it, I know that's something that never goes away. So he'll always have to deal with that.
Right. And if the court appoints an attorney for your son, do you have any objection to me sharing your contact information with the attorney?
No,
Okay. And can you think of anything else about your son that I should have raised that I haven't raised yet?
he has concerning his mother's side of it. When I first got her, he was extremely fearful, and that hasn't changed. That's actually gone almost gotten worse. I've actually this Christmas, for example, I asked him if he wanted to see if he could find, his mom's contact and get her because she wasn't using the app. And he said he was willing to try it, but then he got really shaky and started having an anxiety, like crazy attack. So we canceled that idea. So there's definitely something there that I don't even think he knows about 100% yet from his, pushing it down inside.
Okay. And sorry to switch gears on you here, Mr. Kellogg, but Your Honor, I'd also offer what's been marked as States 1.
All right, sir. This is State Exhibit number 1. This shows the child support that's been paid in your case. Is there any legal reason I should not allow this in evidence at this time, sir?
No, sir.
All right, State 1's admitted. You may proceed, Mr. Donovan.
And I have nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, sir. What city you live in?
Yeah, right now we live in Belton.
Okay. All right, then. I'm just trying to figure out who I might want to appoint as the ad litem for the child to be with you when you try to get the information necessary for the court to get from point A to point B, and the ad litem will represent the child that represents you, but will work for the child's best interest and obviously help you in any manner, way, shape, or form to get there if she so finds or he still finds that it's in his client's best interest. So let me bring up my charts. It's been a while since I appointed that litem, so let me see who's up next. All right, looks like it's Ms. Gustafson. Sir, I'm gonna go ahead and appoint Janet Gustafson as the ad litem for your son on this matter. She's the attorney / guardian ad litem. In other words, I'm not gonna give a 15-year-old loaded lawyer to do what he has to do whatever he says do, okay? He can tell her what to do, but she's got to still say it's in his best interest before she has to do it, okay? But anyway, so she's not going to be just an attorney ad litem. She's going to be an attorney / guardian ad litem. I'm going to go ahead and Mr. Diamond, the last quarter that went down, so did the CSO use the minimum wage presumption during that quarter?
No, Your Honor. It was $731.33 was the monthly average for that quarter.
Okay.
And when I calculated, I took just all 4 quarters and I
Okay.
divided them.
Okay, I just want to make sure that wasn't a gross amount for the entire quarter. I was gonna go with the minimum wage presumption, but since that's a net amount, then I'll go ahead and go with that with the other 3 quarters and order temporary child support in this matter. And I'm gonna go ahead and start that the first day of February. I'll go ahead and like I say appoint the ad litem and I'll ask Ms. Walker to see when Ms. Gustafson is going to be appearing in court sometime. As any time she's going to be.
And she's ahead of us, Your Honor. It looks like one date that Ms. Walker has given us is May the 1st. And the other dates are in February. So if the court wants to set this on a date, Ms. Gustafson is going to be here. My request would be that May 1st date, because we'll need some time to get this filed and get the non-custodial parent.
I was thinking April anyway, but May will work. So, but she needs to get back in before then on anything based on the any problems with her client, then we'll get that set up. But for right now, sir, I'm going to go ahead and give your son a lawyer. Go ahead and reset this matter to allow her the opportunity to get up to speed on it, and for the state to file the necessary pleadings that would change child support, or the court to consider ordering child support past the age of 18 in graduation. And the Atlanta will figure out what she needs to get as far as getting ducks in a row to get that to happen going forward. Anyway, and like I said, we'll reserve all of the issues to final, and we'll see how this one works out. And hopefully by then we'll find some information about the 4th quarter of 2024. And by the time we get back, the 1st quarter of 2025 should be in also. So we can see what we're looking at going forward. So at this time, Mr. Dunn, is there anything else you want the court to specifically rule on? Anything else you need any type of ruling on, sir?
Yes, please, Your Honor. If we could get rulings on the app close and the non-disclosure.
Okay, I want to order the app close, and since I'll order non-disclosure for now, but we'll review that when we come back next time with the ad litem and see what she wants to do on behalf of her client. Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so I'll grant those 2 things for now. Anything else, then, Mr. Diamond?
That's all I have, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Kellogg, anything else, sir?
No, Your Honor.
All right, like I said, the attorney's name is Janet Gustafson. So if someone contact you saying she's your son's lawyer, and you better start trembling in fear, that'll be her. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, because the 15-year-old has a lawyer. That's why it's out. So yeah. But anyway, we'll see you in May, and we'll see. And by then, we'll see what the new pleadings look like, and the court will take those items up as they come forward. Maybe Mr. Diamond, may Mr. Kellogg be excused, or you need him back in breakout?
I'd request him back in the breakout room. I've got most of the order already drafted, so I shouldn't keep him very long. All
right, then, Mr. Kellogg, thank you very much, sir. You go back to the breakout room, and after that, you're free to go. And I hope you and yours have a happy and safe New Year. Okay, sir?
You too, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. We're off the record.
Thank you, Your Honor.